I know, it's been a while, darling, I know. But I'm gonna fill you in, so stay tuned. I'm Morgan, and welcome back to my channel, Actualized AF, where we talk strategies and tips to actualize all the goals you desire and become that person you've always visualized. And today, darling, I'm back at it. I'll fill you in on where I was, but I'm so excited to be back on YouTube. It's been about a month or so, and I know that's a long time for me because, darling, I was consistent all summer. But I'm excited to fill you in, so let's get started. Here she is, what she actually looks like. But first off, I'm gonna get this hair together, get it moisturized, and then I'm going to do my makeup. So I just wanna get into where have I been? I know I've been off YouTube for about a month for a very specific purpose, and that is because my grandmother died. And I had to take a little bit of time off because I was home in Maryland. If you don't know, I do live in Atlanta, but I'm actually from Maryland, outside DC. I'm a DMV girl. And yeah, I had to take some time off, go home for about 2 weeks. I was there for 2 weeks at my mom's house, and then I had to recover. So it's been a few weeks of just me kind of recalibrating back into life. And if you've ever lost a loved one, you know that it is not just, you know, a sad situation, but it's physically and mentally exhausting. Like, you're thinking 24/7 and like getting everything together. And of course I was there supporting my grandfather and my mother. So yeah, it was just a physically and mentally exhausting few weeks. So I just needed some time, but it was an amazing experience to be able to be with my family and to remember my grandmother for the fabulous woman that she is. I mean, this woman was ahead of her time, literally was a traveler, lived in other countries before it was cool. And of course, my grandfather was in the military, so they were, you know, traveling the world together. But it was like, looking back at all of her photos and everything, it was really inspiring because she was like a businesswoman and she had degrees and just everything that a woman, especially a Black woman, was not supposed to be. Honey, she was it. She was fabulous. She was really, really fabulous. Fine china, fine linens, everything. So I am grateful that I was able to celebrate my grandmother and take the lessons that she's taught me my entire life and just be able to celebrate her. So I was home, and that's why I was offline, but I still felt all of the support from just my community online. And I'm mostly active on Instagram, but you know, everyone still was commenting on my YouTube videos. I've met a lot of people online over the past few years that I've been operating Actualized AF. And whether those are people that I know in person or those are people that I've just met online and they're like my online friends, or my online community, I felt so much love from them, of course from my grandmother's passing, but also just from support in general. I mean, folks have been commenting on my YouTube videos. People have bought my Notion templates, which, by the way, I'm like, I know they're good, but sometimes I just like create things and put them out there and I don't know what's going to come of it. But when people actually buy things and like I'm interacting with people in my community who I've never met, it's actually a really, 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 really cool experience. And I'm so glad that I'm just taking the steps. I might not have 1 million followers yet. Okay, mark this day, mark my words. But I'm aspiring to be, you know, a big YouTuber for whatever that looks like for me. And I'm so thankful for the support so far from YouTube, from my community on Instagram, from my community in person, from, I don't know if you know, but I have an accountability group. So I bring women together, host workshops to basically set goals together and have a community of support where women can get the support they need to reach their goals. So whether it's from that community, Accountable AF is the name of my accountability group. If you're interested in joining, just message me or I'll put the information right here. But those women have been so supportive and just like wanting to participate in the actualized community, wanting to participate in these conversations, wanting to engage in organizing and elevating their lives. Like that's what's exciting to me. And I like being around people who want to participate in being their better selves. And yeah, whether that's in person or online, I have felt the love and I'm so grateful for the support. I'm just excited to keep pushing forward and hopefully I won't be taking any more breaks. But if I do, I hope that you know that it's for good reason and I'm not like some inconsistent person. So there's that. So thank you so much. And I am so excited to just move forward and push out content and build this brand because honey, this is fun for me. This is my purpose. It really is a lot of fun. So thank you. A few strands later and my hair is out. And speaking of my hair, you can clearly see that I'm a natural hair girl. And speaking of my hair, I have big news. I can't believe that this is my life, but you know what? That's what happens when you design a life that you want to live. You visualize things and you make it happen, and sometimes you don't realize that they're actually happening like in real time, but it's happening and it's exciting. I am a brand ambassador for Donna's Recipe by Tabitha Brown, which is Tabitha Brown's hair care line. So that's what I've been using for my hair takedown. I just put a little bit of the extra creamy hair and scalp oil into my hair. But Tabitha Brown, I cannot believe it. So if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen this video that I posted. Basically, I was talking about the hair care products and how I truly, I love these products. I love using them. They're moisturizing, they're hydrating, they're easy to use. It's an easy system. And I normally don't try new hair care products, but when I tried Tabitha Brown's hair care line, I fell in love. And I've also made a YouTube video about the hair care line. But when I made that Instagram reel, I was kind of hoping that it would create momentum, but I didn't realize that I would become a brand ambassador for Donna's Recipe. And not only did I become a brand ambassador, honey, wait for this, wait a minute. I attended a brand event where Tabitha Brown was in attendance launching her new collection, the Whipped Vanilla Cream collection. It was in Greensboro, North Carolina. She was there. She was fabulous. She was meeting fans, taking pictures, but also hanging out with the brand ambassadors. And it was such an amazing experience to know that any video that you put out, any piece of content that you create, anything that you want to do, it's possible to build momentum into something else. Basically, it goes to show that all of the small steps matter. So if I hadn't created that video, if I hadn't created the follow-up video, if I didn't have my brand together, okay, because that matters. You can't just create something and then hope that everything falls into place once you create it. It's like all those steps that you took beforehand to make something and make a dream come true, they all matter so that when the time comes, when Tabitha Brown reposts your video, which she did with mine, when that time comes, you will be ready. So never underestimate the small seeds that you're planting to build your brand, build your business, build anything that you want, even if it's going to school, even if it's getting a job. Every single thing that you do, every single small thing matters. I'm glad that I have my brand together. I'm just happy that I was at the Donna's Recipe event. It was so much fun. All the rest of the brand ambassadors are amazing. They're so nice, and I'm so happy to be a part of that community. So thank you, Tabitha Brown. Thank you, Donna's Recipe, and I'll be making more content around Donna's Recipe because I actually love the brand. So don't forget, if you're interested in purchasing Donna's Recipe, shop my link, donnasrecipe.com. /Morgan or use the code Morgan at checkout. The next update is the fact that, honey, I was in India. A few months ago, I went to India and I was working. My old supervisor, she contacted me to do a teacher training with the US Embassy, honey. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it that I've like reached that point in my career. My career that I've went to school with. I got 2 master's degrees for this career in education. So just a backstory, I started my career as an English language educator, instructor. So I worked in Korea, I lived in Japan, and I've done teacher trainings all around the world. And essentially, I moved into designing curriculum and training teachers, because that is what I love to do. I love to give people ideas and they execute it with their students and their learners all over the world. So that is what I was doing in India. And so the small group of teachers or teacher trainers that I was working with, they took on to me, honey, and I was definitely the youngest, but that's, you know, that's my life. I'm always the youngest person in the room. But they took on to me and they were just giving me so many ideas for my career about where I can go next. And I just came home hella inspired to just rethink my career. So I don't know if you remember, but last year I was laid off, and I talked about it in this video. But I was laid off from my job in ed tech, and I was just overbuilding my career. I said, listen, I don't care if I have a job. Like, I'm done, because I was just traumatized, and I didn't realize how traumatized I was until I went to India and they were giving me, you know, all of these pieces of advice for my career. And I just was like, wow, I didn't realize that I like stopped building my career because of that significant moment. And yes, it's a traumatizing experience in life, but it doesn't have to stop you from being great. Not that, honey, let's be clear. It didn't stop me from being great, but it did stop me from thinking about what my future could look like. I went to India, they gave me all these ideas, and I came back refreshed. And now, honey, I've got meetings. I'm applying to different programs, and literally I have a 5-year plan, because these ladies not only inspired me, but they confirmed ideas for myself that I already had within the field that I've already built for myself, which is education. Like, if I'm already training teachers for the US Embassy now, darling, imagine where I could go, and imagine how that would excite someone who hadn't been excited for the past year about her career. I don't want to claim that I'm back in alignment, but you know when you get a feeling that the difficult period of your life has passed? I have that feeling, and I feel that I am back in alignment and back to where my things are happening for me. And although everything in life is happening for you, because everything obviously is a lesson, but some things happen too much for you to learn a lesson. And that was me over the past 3 years. Literally everything bad was happening. I didn't feel like I could fully execute on the person I wanted to be, because I just had to deal with so much other stuff that just wasn't in alignment with the activities and the events that I wanted to participate in life. But this year in 2024, I feel like I started getting back into alignment with, you know, getting the job, being paid to go to India, not just on a vacation. I got paid to do that. Becoming a Donna's Recipe brand ambassador, staying consistent with my YouTube and my content on other social platforms. Like, everything just seems to be working to be a gift. And just be like, here, Morgan, this is for you, because you've learned the lessons that you needed to learn, go ahead and live your life. And of course there will always be lessons that I need to learn, but I'm so glad that life is conspiring in my favor. I did the daily things to make sure that my bodily chemistry like stopped rocking back and forth off of the line of alignment and just became steady and in vibration of, you know, how I wanted to vibrate. And I did that by journaling daily. Like that is an essential for me. I have to do journaling and I have to do manifestation journaling. So I'm plugging all through this video. If you haven't checked out my manifestation journaling video, you need to check it out because that is literally the first step of how I got back into alignment, how I work towards overcoming those difficulties, those challenges in my life is literally visualizing the other end of it, the other side of the mountain, like who I'm going to be after this whole situation pans out, what I'm going to do when I wake up, what my home is going to look like, what my body is going to feel like. Like that is how I journaled and I got back into a place, a mental space of being optimistic about my own future and being just able to receive the message, download it, and just store it away for later instead of constantly looking over the same documents and wondering why my life isn't going the way that I want it to go. So essentially, I started with journaling. I got back to reading. I mean, these are the basics of life. Everything that we want, you can achieve through the basics of life. Journaling, working out again, eating healthy, which I'll get back to in a little bit, and staying focused on my daily routine, my morning routine, just everything. Every small, again, every small thing matters to building the person that you want to be. Whether it's walking every day, eating right, whatever, all those small things allowed me, like it was like, you know, all the small things, if you imagine a line here and like all the small things that you do are knocking you back into the line instead of like, you know, waving you off center, you're just being knocked back into alignment through doing all of the small things that you don't want to do, but you actually just shut up, get your butt up and do it. And literally, it's the small daily routines that get you where you need to be. I don't know if you notice, but honey, I've lost some weight. I've lost 17.4 pounds. The 0.4 is necessary because it gets me closer to 18. And yes, I needed to lose weight, especially after those 3 years of just, life. When I started getting back into alignment, darling, I started working out regularly and I've lost 17.4 pounds so far. And I think my goal, I don't really have a goal weight. I have a goal feeling, darling. I want to feel like summertime on the inside. I want to feel light on the inside because my body is clean. My body is in sync like that. I want the feeling, and I have the feeling now because, darling, I'm back in alignment. I keep saying that. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm back in alignment. It's also because I've been eating right and exercising regularly. So here's what I've been doing for the past like month or so, ever since I got back from Maryland. I'm gonna take my hair down. I have, here's my plan. For eating, I eat raw foods, raw fruits and vegetables until 4 p.m. And that is so that it's kind of like practicing intermittent fasting because I don't eat until a little bit later in the day, and then I only eat raw until 4. But I do it literally to cleanse my body and prioritize nutrients and vegetables. I do my workouts at 5 a.m. and then immediately after I do my morning walks and I go on a 5-mile walk. And that might sound like a long time, but honestly, when you're walking around, you're just like in your own zone and you're looking at the trees and it's just like a little bit hilly, like up and down. It's not too much, but when you're doing all that, like you're in your zone and time goes by quickly. I love my morning walks. I love the morning crew, and I love my routine. I love that I'm in alignment. I love that I have my job. I love that I'm a Donna's Recipe brand ambassador. I love that I went to India, my God. And I love that, you know, my content is shaping up in the way that I love. Like, I love looking at my Instagram videos. I love looking at my YouTube. I'm just so grateful that, again, it's the small steps that have led me up until this moment where I can fully express gratitude for everything that I've been gifted, which is Actualized AF, which is the idea of Actualized AF and the ability and the skills to execute it. I love being actualized, darling. So I am going to record some more YouTube videos because honey, she's on a roll. She's back in action. Courtesy of Donna's Recipe. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.